Welcome to another edition of Lone Star Brahmas Inside the Bullpen. Brought to you by Acme Bread. If you don't see the Acme name, you're not getting Acme quality. And now, here are your hosts, Nick Merritt and Chad Seaward.
Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Bullpen. Nick Merritt, Chad Seaward are joined at NYTEX with a special guest here today, Adam Pfeil, a beloved Brahma fan, and somehow they suckered him into winning a color commentary for the day with yours truly. And I'm just sitting next to Adam, feel kind of bad for him here, but we'll pick his brain with some Brahmas hockey and see how that goes. But we're just glad he could join us today.
Appreciate it. Glad to be here, and look forward to where this heads.
Absolutely. See, the first winner of the guest color commentator auction, I think we did that last year, didn't we, Nick?
We did. And nobody won it, or we just discontinued it, or we ran out of time, or whatever. So
yeah.
Now we got to it early. Adam is the
we gotta find a good character.
The guinea pig. Yeah. Everybody in hockey has a nickname, so we got to come up with.
There you go.
Adam the Nail File. No, that doesn't sound right. We'll work on that. We'll get better at that.
They could be a fighter then. Have to be a fighter with that.
Tough as nails.
Well, obviously we gotta talk a little bit of Brahma action, and then we'll jump right into bugging Adam. But we're at the halfway point of the season. I think it's been an interesting year so far. Definitely some ups and downs from the year. You look back all the way back at the showcase, the Brahmas got off to a blazing start. Now all of a sudden, kind of come back to life a little bit, not in a bad way, but just a little bit of time of trying to get through some injuries, figure some things out with the team. You missed a few key contributors. Who can replace them? Just different guys playing roles they weren't accustomed to, say, in September. But looking at this Brahmas team, 21 wins already through the first 30 games. That's definitely not too shabby. Adam, I know this may be news to you too, so you might get some nuggets on the broadcast that are could potentially be cool inside scoops to hear. But the coaching staffs just in general, they have like this 15-game stretch, and they want the team to win at least 10 games. They want to go 10-2-1, so they want to get a total of or no, not 10.
That doesn't add up to 15.
No, it doesn't have 15. 10-4-1. 10-3-2, because they want to be like a 7,500 team. So they want to get those.
That's a lofty goal.
Comes out to 12 points. 12 points in 15 games, and so they did a good job early. But then recently, it's been a little bit of a struggle. They got to get back on track, but they'll have a chance to this weekend against Wichita Falls. So that should definitely be exciting at least.
Yeah, Wichita Falls has been hot though, haven't they? They've won
Big time.
like eight in a row or something crazy like that.
They won 8 straight, and then just lost this past weekend in overtime. Their third straight overtime game against the Odessa Jackalopes. If they won that one in overtime, they would have had 9 straight game winning streak coming into Brahmaland. So they, ever since they let go of their head coach and they turned a leaf, they've been catching fire. And I guess the Wildcats now are right up there in the mix. They're number 2 in the South Division for a reason. And the Brahmas are going to have to get their work cut out for them to survive, if you will, before the holiday season. And then finally, the Brahmas team, for drumroll, first time all weekend or all season's going to get a break on Christmas. Imagine that.
That's good.
The past couple of years there, Adam, if you remember, we had a couple games after Christmas. So
the day after Christmas.
Yes, they didn't have a chance to really – well, they went home, but it's like a 3-day, 4-day – it's like an extended weekend trip for them back home to relax.
Also, this is something the fans never really think about. Those games were in Topeka, and the only way to get to Topeka was like to fly to Kansas City and then –
Yes. And then Potter at the time had to shuttle them.
Our assistant coach is just shuttling back and forth to Kansas City. So guys would come in, haven't skated in a few days, and they're full of Christmas meal and Christmas joy, and we throw them out there to play. But this year, we don't have to do that. It's awesome.
Rumor had it that Darth Vader had a broom, and he was bringing it for this weekend. So I'm hoping that broom was delivered to sweep up all the garbage before we head into the Christmas holidays. So.
Yeah, that's true. There was a lot of garbage on this past Saturday. There's a lot of debris around this building.
I don't know if the stormtroopers are gonna be allowed back for maybe a year here.
Well, we're gonna have to really look into that.
Yeah, see if they put the dark side on us or something. Jeez.
Yeah, Star Wars night did not go well for us.
No. I know, Adam, you were there for the game, but
Yeah, it was pretty neat. The Stormtroopers had some family in town that are huge Star Wars fans, so I didn't tell the boys. And we were standing out front. I went and got the tickets, and the Stormtroopers are outside. I said, hey, you need to mess with those boys. And so they gave him the one over before they came in, so they were pretty rocked up before they even got in the stadium and then saw the game, and it was awesome. Got to sit on the glass, and wow, they're fans now. Huge.
that's very cool. Are they? Do you already have to get the tickets for the opening night in the theaters too?
I don't know if their dad has got that, but I'm sure at Christmas time there'll be at least 1 or 2 showings of that. They'll probably go
Gotcha.
at least twice going in.
Yeah, that's Star Wars night, man. Shout out to the 501st Legion, those guys that do I call them Star Wars reenactors. I don't know what else, the characters, the stormtroopers and whatnot.
Yeah.
They're awesome. And when we do Star Wars night, they never fail to deliver. We had a good assortment of characters out there.
Yes.
Some I didn't even know were from the Star Wars movie. I was like, what is that? But apparently, they can't all be stormtroopers. And our record, I think this is the first time we've lost on Star Wars night. I'd have to go back and research that, but that would require effort, and I'm not going to do that. But I'm pretty sure this is the first time we've lost on a Star Wars night. So
You might be right.
yeah,
Yeah, in the 4 years. Darn. Well, that streak ends.
I had to get an
New one
intern on that one.
Yeah. New one will begin next week. But, from Star Wars, man, we couldn't have given you, I guess, a worse game for
We
the
got our
family to
butt
come
kicked.
to.
Well, we've been to about 5 games, so I think we're 4-1, so we'll take that.
Okay.
Got to have a bad
Okay.
one every now and then. So
Okay.
we're coming back strong now.
Well, that's good. We've actually been struggling at home. So the fact that if you're around 4-1, that's pretty good.
That's 80%. I'll take that any
Yeah,
day of the
exactly.
week.
I think anybody through school would take that nowadays. But obviously, let's see. I guess the holiday season's coming up. In terms of these guys, it's going to be very interesting to see how they'll respond before the break. We saw guys come back. Troy York came back after missing 3 weeks. Wishman no longer banged up. Biondo no longer banged up and looked really good, by the way.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see how this team moves forward now that the pieces are finally coming back together like they were in the beginning of the year. I think that'll be a huge help. Adamo will return after the New Year's. So
That was my question: is when does he come back?
He's still in Germany. Glover has to miss Friday night's game with his last game of suspension, which, in my opinion, still shouldn't even be a suspension. I know Dan tried to submit to the NHL head of league officials. There was a spearing call back in Odessa, and you could use the word spearing lightly for the sake of it, but I guess he'll be gone on Friday. Exciting news, too, coming from him. You could check that out on the Brahmas website, LoneStarBrahmas.com. Little plug here during the podcast. Don't want to spoil too many things, but keep an eye out. If it's not already up, it actually might be up right now. I'll have to talk with Megan about that. But let's see. I guess Adam, just want to pick your brain about the Brahmas. Just how long you've been here in Brahmaland? What's your thoughts of the season? How are you enjoying it so far? Is it a good family experience with you? You hating your life yet with a couple losses? Or
we started coming last year. We probably gone to games in Dallas and Fort Worth many moons ago, and last year somehow I don't remember how I found it, but came across the Brahmas, and we definitely like to do the family thing. So the wife, the daughter, and my grandson, we'll do team activities, everything sporting. We're huge softball people, so that's kind of what we do. A lot of softball, baseball continually. And so the grandson has seen some hockey on TV. He's got some hockey sticks from the neighbors, and it's gone ridiculous. I mean, he was a huge Corbin fan last year.
Yep.
And was not happy that we weren't seeing him this year, but he's moved on. We had to explain the whole college thing, so he's getting over that. But we've sat on the glass a few times last year, made some friends out here, and I think we did 2 or 3 games last year, and I believe either 4 or 5 already this year. And just love coming out. It's inexpensive in the grand schemes of the sporting world. It's a good crowd, and there's no bad seat. So, I mean, you can sit in the top level in any area of the stadium, and you're going to have a good view versus some of the other rinks for bigger teams that they look like ants at best.
That's true. No, that's true.
Yeah, it is good for the sightlines are definitely good here, and I've taken my kids to Stars games and things, and it's definitely apples and oranges as far as the finances are concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, it's a good value for the money if you want to come out and have a good time. It's easy to get to. We live in Mansfield, so we drive 40 minutes away, and it's has been worth the drive. All except this last Saturday, which was a learning experience, but it's not going to dissuade us from coming back again. I think we are, like I said, 4-1 this year. So, from a value perspective, you just can't find this much action. And we tend to love the high school, college level athletes because they play with a level of heart that doesn't exist, in my opinion, as you get into the pros.
Right.
And they're giving it all. They're having fun. And unfortunately, they root a little too much for the fights. The grandson has somehow picked up that when we're playing hockey in the living room, he takes his gloves off, some sort of glove action.
Yeah.
All right, we got a little duster here.
Starts whooping up on Grandpa. So, so now he's mad because we somehow, I think, have to obtain some gloves because we saw him in the souvenir shop. And while we have the hoodies and the shirts, he didn't get the gloves. So apparently Santa might hopefully be bringing some of those.
Santa's elves are good. They're really good at making gloves.
Oh, goodness.
I've had a few pairs over the years that they do great work up in the North Pole with the glove making.
Well,
So that's
We
good.
need that. We need
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Well, obviously, then being here for a couple of years with the Brahmas, just to enjoy. Do you have a moment that maybe stands out for you in the past couple of years?
So we came to the playoff game last year. I think it was the one. Did they get eliminated at home last year? Unfortunately.
Yes.
Technically the road, but
Okay.
yeah.
So we
that's
saw
a
one
peak-
of the games.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was,
the final
it was that
series.
same series.
Yeah, so we saw one of the series where they lost. So that was a little disappointing, but it was pretty neat to see them. We don't necessarily come to every game, but we're at least once a month. And what we
course.
saw last year is kind of seeing them grow. So not a huge hockey fan, but I've watched the Stars for years. But you could see the passing get better. You could see the teamwork get better. You could see the intensity get better. They didn't have intensity Saturday, but we'll get that back.
Yeah.
But you saw things get better. And then when we came this year, that team, albeit a bunch of new guys, was at a higher level already. So they were playing at to me, a more mature level than they were at the beginning of last season. So I think just seeing these guys develop, and to me it's exciting to see they're going to college. And I think we even have some pros maybe looking at some of our guys. That's pretty cool because even these are high school-ish age or
Right.
college age guys. So, to see their careers just getting started is pretty cool. And then the grandson gets the autographs. I'm like, yeah, we're going to put that one away. So the shirt's full of autographs and pucks from last year. So just the way the team's evolved and then the way that, they truly like to keep the fans involved as best they can. He skated the other day and didn't get to skate Saturday, so he was fired up.
Very cool.
So we have to explain to him, there's certain times we can do stuff.
Right. Yeah. With all the post-game skates and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess if we didn't have any adult league, we'd probably have post-game skate every night like they do up.
Oh yeah. If we could, we would. But
Yeah.
we got a big adult league population, and they are waiting to get on the ice as
know.
Yeah,
soon
they
as
are.
we can.
I'm sure you've seen
Knocking
them
us
too,
in the
just line up.
halls.
Yep. They've lined up in the halls. They're ready to rumble.
It's funny. Like you don't see it so much because you're in the booth, Nick. But like if you're out in the lobby, especially at the end of a year, end of a playoffs, you see fans like literally crying and upset, and it's a lot of kids just take it hard. They, the world has ended,
Right.
And it's awful, and you see everybody upset. I guess maybe I'm jaded because I've been around so long, and it's just the end of one year immediately starts the beginning of the next year. But yeah, you get connected to these guys. You feel like you know them. I guess you see them enough. I'm sure you got autographs, so you've met all the guys, and it's just more of a, I don't know, more of a family feeling versus pros where it's just I don't know, a lot of guys are just waiting to hit the bars or whatnot.
Yeah, maybe they're ready for the grind to be over.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I mean, even obviously working with the team too, you get invested with it. The fans, I feel the thing what attracts fans who maybe like sports but want to experience like the Brahmas action. Maybe I think Adam kind of alluded to it a little bit, at least from my standpoint when I came on the Brahmas. It was you feel like you're invested in the team, not as much as a fan, but almost like you're a part of it. I mean, I know I'm a part of the front office, but you feel kind of connected with the team because just when I get the 2 minutes to walk down there, right outside the locker room, there's a sea of fans chatting with players, friends and family down there, and it's all open corridors. You can go anywhere, which I think is such a different side of sports that I never had a chance to experience because I was always around professional or even collegiate. You can't really do that too much in collegiate because they're gonna get off, they're gonna shower, they're gonna go back, and they have school. And
they're quartered off too. Like you can't our building for the most part is. I always laugh when we have an all access pass. It's like
you go anywhere anyways.
That's called a ticket, pretty much, you know. But like it's not like where we're under the arena and we're back away. So yeah, it's like I feel like you're just constantly at one with the players and whatnot.
Yes.
And staff.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Last year, a few of the times, the grandson and daughter went into the locker room and kind of met the guys after the game. Very different experience. He was pretty fired up about that. And then, believe it or not, we normally sit on the visitor's side, so shame on us. But I have the grandson go out and we'll give high fives to the opposing team after each period. Now, while they think he's being a good kid and wishing him luck, we're actually passing bad mojo to him.
Good. Excellent.
We like that.
So
happy to see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you ever see him out there giving high fives, wondering, hey, why are these guys acknowledging the bad guys? It's a mojo thing.
That's
good.
Great. That's
good.
Great.
That is good. Yeah.
It's also cool, I'm sure, to be that close.
Oh
to
man, he's fired up. They're
like, wow,
hitting him with the gloves and the sticks, and he's like, he hit me with the stick. I'm like, if he hit you in the head, you hit him back. And obviously he knows how to ruckus, so we'll see.
The visitor side stinks more because usually when this gear is on the road,
so true.
It smells so bad.
So true.
It definitely has a smell.
We've got freshly washed jerseys over there on the home side.
I'm sure they're stinking. They just contain it better.
Oh man, yeah.
They stick them in the room. Well, I think it's because the players too. They'll kind of walk around, which I guess I always picked up on, but it's never like clicked. Like you'll be walking down by the east hallway downstairs, like between Tejas and the Brahmas main rink, and it's just like, oh yeah, there's number 18 and Witchy or whatever, just walking around like casually talking with the coach. Like, I guess they don't really want to use their locker room or they don't need to.
Yeah,
they're just kind of out and about too.
Yeah, it is kind of a weird thing because even when the Brahmas were in the Fort Worth Convention Center, like the locker rooms there were you couldn't get to it as a fan. They were underneath the bleachers, behind 6 locked doors with security guards and everything. And here it's much more laid back. Well, Nick, one thing that we should talk about, you mentioned we're at the halfway point.
Yes.
We have played exactly 30 games.
Yes.
That is the most games played in the South. So that 4-point lead that we have over Wichita Falls is really not that big, since we have 3 games in hand, or they have 3 games in hand with us. So this weekend is very important, very, very important.
Huge. This shapes it up. This one,
yeah.
Technically their win percentage is better. So if they just win 2.5 of those 3 games that they have in hand, they pass us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. And Shreveport's only played 23. I don't even know how that's possible.
I know. I feel like that's a mistake, but it's not.
Well, hey, with this new software, it could be a mistake.
Well,
wouldn't be the first.
I mean, here's the one thing. Actually, I think it has the fewest in the league then, 23.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, hands down. Nobody's played fewer than 20. Oh, there's one with 25. They played 23. Shreveport, Cooley played 25.
That just means their second half of the year is going to be
brutal.
Yeah.
And they already lost their leading scorer for another 4 weeks, I think, still.
Who's that, Melton?
Eric Zohovs, playing at UMass.
What is with all the guys with Z names in this league?
I know. Zielinski, Zenas, Zimmerman, Zohovs, only in the South. I didn't have to go outside the South. It's
wow.
Catching Z's with NHL. Like, we're on to a new story here.
Wow. Well, so when you do get in the booth and do color commentary with Nick, one thing that you'll notice, you ever done color commentary for?
No.
It is different. It's a totally different. Nick is spoiled. He's the only guy in the building that has access to instant replay. He's got a monitor.
That's true.
He's got a monitor
That's
there.
True.
So he has instant replay, and he talks with. We have, in fact, the room next door to us, the production room. So if there's something that he wants to see back, they're on it. And then, of course, He's got his notes on every player on each team. So you're armed with way more intelligence than just the average fan.
That's true.
And that when I did that in a 3 game with you, having the instant replay is huge because sometimes you look at your notes, you look away, you get distracted, and then something happens, and you're like, oh yeah, that was a really good hit.
There's nothing more embarrassing for me when I'm on the road and something like that happens because it'll happen.
You don't have instant replay on the road?
No.
Oh boy.
No, I have to have a jumbotron. I want to re-show it. That helps me. But sometimes I'll do that. I'll do just that. Those announce the penalties. So I'm just jotting down the penalties, so I don't have to rely on the internet and whatever. And in the process of me looking down at my paper to write, they had a quick whistle, started the face-off, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, the puck's in the back of the net, and I have no idea how that just went in. And here's me I don't know why it happens sometimes, but hopefully that's why it's good to have guys like Adam. He'll be carrying the ship. I'll be the one.
Yeah.
By hopefully halfway point, I'll be the one in snooze control, and we'll give Adam the tough work of.
Man, hockey play-by-play is hands down the hardest out of any sport. I feel like football and baseball is so slow. I mean, it takes forever. In baseball, you're just BSing the whole time. You're telling the stories. You're a storyteller if you're doing a broadcast for a baseball game. In hockey, you don't have a second to breathe.
Yeah,
and the freaking names, as we mentioned before, my goodness.
I know.
So you do good, Nick, and it'll be good to have a color guy since the loss of Walt Ruff. We haven't had a guy in the booth.
That's true. R.I.P. Walt. No. Well, hey, Chad, you mentioned you were at the halfway point. We got to throw Adam on the hot seat a little bit. Didn't even warn about this, but we got to get your take on the final season stats. You have a little help. Chad and I did this in the beginning part of the year. So at the halfway point, appropriate. I was going to bring it back anyways. Brahmas this year, 30 games played, obviously halfway through the regular season, 21-8-1. What we want you to do is join us and predicting how many wins and losses potentially the Brahmas will have. We'll focus more on wins. A little hard to do mental math, throwing in the hot seat to do all that subtraction.
Now,
figure out the
what did
losses,
you say? Do you remember your number?
Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to go back and actually listen.
I think mine was like 40.
Yeah, I think I was slightly less than that. I think I want to say I was in the mid to high 30s.
And I was the homer, the team homer with 40.
Hey, technically,
They're right on track.
they're right on track for that. They're on track for 42. If they keep it up. They got to go back to the first year, but
Statistically speaking, you'd want to throw out a 40 because we're at 21 with 30, right?
Right.
But we came out really hot, so I think a 35, is only 14 more wins out of 30 games, doesn't feel very well. I do think we'll get a few more ties. So I think the ties, which I hate them in American sports. I know it's a hockey thing. I can't understand ties, but we'll probably go from 1 to 4. So we'll have a few more losses, and I think 35 is going to take the division after we sweep Wichita and they get their feelings hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We're going to be set up to get 2017 and bring home the cup. I mean, I forget last year, was it the semis or the finals we lost in?
Oh, it was first round, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, first
It
round.
was.
Okay.
It was the year before. It was the
I guess
semifinals.
technically it is South semis though.
Well, yeah, the South semis.
Oh, South Sydney. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to use that momentum, finish out
Better
strong,
way of
and
saying
get
for
some
sure.
hardware here into the stadium here at NYTEX here. It's time.
I'd be A-okay with that.
Yeah, I think any season that ends with any sort of hardware other than a participation trophy is a good thing.
Well, as we say in any sport, you make the playoffs and you don't lose your last game. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all you got to do.
Yep.
it is simple.
So you threw.
It's a simple formula. You get to the playoffs and don't lose your last game.
Wait. So you said you didn't want 35. You wanted somewhere between 35 and 42.
Well, I'd say I think I'm going to go with 35.
Okay. I got it.
And 4 ties,
Got it.
then whatever the differential is for losses.
I guess I'm the only believer here at 40.
Hey, we both I think are on that. We'd
No,
be okay
yeah.
with that.
Hey, anything above 35, I think we're smoking, and this division's ours, right?
Yes. Yeah, you definitely have a very good chance. And it's been a stacked division for some reason this year, which is wild because Chad and I were discussing that earlier, bringing on the extra team. Usually it kind of
waters it down a little bit.
Exactly.
The talent pool.
Yeah, the talent pool's slightly depleted a little bit more, but obviously, like, coaches have different connections with different leagues, whatever. But when you're playing different competition, you figured there wouldn't be one team rising as high as it did, like the Brahmas did. So I think that's probably why they're just coming back to earth. Is I guess Mother Nature is just like, nope. When this has to be way more closer than this. So
I mean, if the playoffs started today in the South, the 4 seed would be Corpus, and they have a losing record, which is crazy. It is a little lopsided. Our win loss and Wichita Falls and Shreveport, we have a great win percentage, and then everybody else is kind of, begging for scraps, I guess.
Right.
So Topeka or Corpus will probably end up in that 4th spot, and form will most likely hold the rest of the way, which would be good. It'd be a nice playoff series.
It would be. Well, yeah, it's going to be. That's where the battle's going to be between that final spot. Everybody already knows. I could tell you right now with confidence and bet whatever you need. That's going to be Brahmas, Wildcats, Mudbugs, without a doubt. Are 3 of the teams in.
Yeah.
4th one. That's what you were saying. Who knows? Juggle it.
I mean, it's not going to be Amarillo. Sorry.
No, probably
Sorry,
not.
Amarillo.
Probably not. But they are still just a game back. So, I mean, they're there. I don't think they're the better team, but they. It's funny getting a chance to look back at the stats here on the podcast. When you have it right in front of you, I remember last year the Amarillo head coach Matt Nicholson was saying, we were actually a good team, but just out of like the 30, they finished last in the South last year, but they said out of the 60 games in the regular season, I think he said something like 30 of them were 1-goal games, and they were just like, yeah, we just weren't coming up the other end of the 1-goal games. And look at that. Here you go again. They have 7 overtime losses in 28 games. So literally a quarter of their games, they're losing by 1 in overtime. They're getting a point, so that's why they're hanging on. But
you got to find a way to finish.
Yeah.
And
they haven't quite closed the gap in on that yet.
A 1-goal loss or a 100-goal loss is still a loss. So
plus doesn't help when the Brahmas are like 4-1-0 against you early, and that kind of sets the tone for the year. Go out, spank them a couple times in Amarillo, and actually no, we won 5 or 6 against them, so even more, which is crazy. Well, I think we're wrapping this guy up. We got a couple more minutes here. Just want to keep it short and simple. Introduce Adam to the fans and get a taste of a future game. We'll have to release later when the fans can tune into Adam's call as well on Hockey TV, and we'll have a good old time. He obviously was at the game Saturday, mentioned Bullpen to plenty others, but checked out the little small and dainty press box area. It's maybe not like your typical press row, but it's definitely a homey feel, and hopefully it could be it'll be a good game day spot for you too. At the very least, hopefully you'll enjoy a different scene of what goes on, kind of like with replays or.
Here's the one thing that I'll take. I know you're used to it. It'll probably take you first part of the first period to get used to just the noise in there, hearing on your headset with all the screen. When we did the NA3 game, there was 36 people in attendance. Yeah. So
not many.
So it was easy. It was easy to hear everything going on. You could hear the coaches yell.
Right.
Sometimes not so good. Sometimes it's okay. In an arena like this, I mean, this is a loud building, and especially where you are, it's noisy, and you got noise coming from behind you. If
there's a special van or whatever.
Well, if that, but plus if there's a visitor broadcaster.
Oh yes.
Colin gets excited. He had a lot of excitement on Saturday from the Corpus Christi broadcaster.
Yes.
It's crazy. It can be crazy up there.
It can be a little crazy.
Should be good. To me, it's the best seat in the house, unfortunately, because you can see down into it and you're not that high up.
Right.
So,
yeah.
While we sit on the glass, there's blind spots when you're on the glass. So it's an awesome seat. We won't have any blood or ice being thrown on us, which is okay.
No.
My wife and daughter and grandson can have that for the game. But, as far as being able to see everything and the action of the game, that's going to be pretty cool.
It's the Fort Worth Convention Center. You were 47 rows up from the ice is where the press box was. You would have hated that. I mean, you literally would have to have binoculars.
Yeah.
So here you can see all the blood, and if there is blood, you'll have instant replay, so you can go back and find out what happened to it. But it'll be good. It'll be a good time, and we're glad that you won the auction on the Digital Auction Showdown Dash app.
Yes.
We're going to be doing a lot of more cool stuff with that. In fact, we'll have to figure that out within the next week once we start a little bit of a Christmas break. We'll get some more opportunities. I think we're going to do one opportunity to ride on the bus with the team for a trip. We'll have to find, of course, the perfect date for that.
Yes.
And, we'll have more. Maybe you'll see, maybe Adam will win the assistant coach vibe, and he can go from the booth to the bench.
That would be
you
great.
never know.
That would be great. Yeah, we got to get that one up. We've
done that
talked
before.
about
But
it. We have done.
We'll definitely bid on it. I think we're in second place for the signed helmet. So the grandson didn't know I was bidding on that. He'd been really fired up. But, it was easy to download, easy to use. And if you haven't ever tried it or got the app and taken a look at it, it's pretty easy to use. So I'd say, when you get a new one out there, let's pump it up and get some bids because no big deal.
Yeah.
It is cool. And shout out to Jonathan from Dash,
Yes, big time.
the founder. He is a really cool guy, easy to work with. And he got so excited. He sent us each an email when he saw that you had the color commentator spot.
I know, loved it.
I want more teams to do that. More teams to do that. So
Loved it.
You're
Loved
the
it.
first. There'll probably be more opportunities from other teams.
Oh yeah.
be good.
Well, it's good. I mean, it's nice hearing too that it's easy for you to work with. Obviously, we're only the ones setting them up, quote unquote, if you will. But then
Right.
the rest were just kind of like, well, we hope the fans aren't like ticked off by the interface or
It's easy.
easy enough to navigate through. And yeah, we'll keep some. You definitely hit it at a good time though, because I think hopefully it'll start catching some steam. But maybe there's a couple of there's been some hidden gems on there.
Yeah.
For not even, we're just trying to get rid of this stuff because they're fun. They're fun and easy to get rid of. Not even trying to like make extra. Not like it's feeding my wallet by any means.
No.
Our Chads. We're just like, hey, let's just have some fun. Like, hey, who found this jersey? Where was this jersey? In the back office. And like, oh wow, do we hang it up? No. Why hasn't it been hung up? Well, let's give it to a fan. All right, great. Throw it on Dash.
Yeah. It works out.
Yeah. I've been talking to Walt too, by the way. He did the same thing in Norfolk. Same stuff.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, here's a Patrick Maroon jersey. Okay, he's in the pro now. Let's send that off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever.
Whatever you've got.
Yeah.
Here's a broken
Yeah.
stick. Let's put that
Plus,
up
you
there.
mentioned the lobbies were cluttered, so that's been the best way to clear that clutter up.
That is true. Especially
When you got stormtroopers trooping through, they're gonna be snagging some helmets, and
we should have got a stormtrooper helmet signed by the team, but
that would have been funny.
That'd have been interesting.
that'd
There you
have
go.
been. I don't know if anybody would want a helmet.
Lucasfilms would have enjoyed us assaulting their stormtrooper to get the helmet.
Yeah, we'll have to come up with another idea then.
We'll keep thinking on that one. But I guess on that note, we'll close it with that craziness. We appreciate, Adam, you joining us today, and looking forward to getting a chance to work with you, too, on a future Brahmas home game. We'll figure that out, let the fans know as well. And then until that, we will see you guys hopefully this weekend. Hopefully you can join us before the holidays. We're against Wichita Falls Wildcats Friday, Saturday night, 7:30 start time. And then we wish you all a very happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, whether you're with us in attendance or not, and we will see you in 2017. Thanks, Brahmaland, for joining in. Until next time.
This has been Inside the Bullpen with the Lone Star Brahmas, brought to you by Acme Brick. Acme Brick, it's the best thing to have around your house.